Well, I'm talking right now with Diet Cig, and they're in Portland. Just got to Portland, so I guess we'll start talking about not your music, but this little adventure that you're on. I saw you were in a cavern. How has this trip been? Where have you been? What have you seen?
Oh my god, it's been
We've been everywhere.
We're taking over the world. We went to Mars. That was the cavern. It wasn't in Utah. It was actually Mars.
Yep. Spaceships.
People think Area 51's in Nevada. It's not. It was in Utah. They shot us to Mars, and that's where we took those awesome Instagrams. No, we've gotten to go everywhere. We left New York on July 8th, so we've been like out there for a while.
Out and about.
I don't even remember where we've been. We went to New Orleans.
New Orleans is cool. We went there on my 20th birthday. That was like really insane. It was like such a great way to like leave my teens behind. It was such a magical place. I got to figure paint a beautiful naked woman, see a circus.
All on the same day, in like 20 minutes.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And then we went to the desert in like Utah and even Colorado and New Mexico. We got to camp there. It was super crazy.
We went rock climbing in New Mexico.
It was crazy. But we felt really out of the loop those 2 weeks. Everyone's like, hey, like, why aren't you getting things done? And we're like, we're in the desert. I don't know service.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I don't know if I could go in that cavern like you, though. I'm like claustrophobic. No
we
way.
did not. So that was like a really crazy thing. It's called Peekaboo Caverns or Gulch or something like that. And it was a slot canyon, which means like the walls are like really, really close together. And there were points where we had to like take our backpacks off and like go in sideways through the canyon. And they kept like warning about flash floods. Like if you're in these canyons during a flash flood, like you have like 0 chance of survival. Like you're dead.
Yeah.
And so like all we're thinking about is like, oh my god, we gotta get to the end of this. Like there's a flash flood. And like the first one we went in, there was like these giant waist deep puddles of water. So we're like,
which we didn't know about.
We would have worn like jelly shoes or something if we knew. And so like we have to like climb into these like pools, and we're like swimming through this orange water, and we were just like, this is not what we expected.
But it was awesome. I have to say, because I am like kind of claustrophobic, but it wasn't bad. I got through it. Because, like, it's like, I don't know, you could see the light if you look up. It's not
it
like
wasn't
you're underground,
which was cool.
But it was cool.
Yeah, that's pretty badass, though. And at the end of it, you're probably just like, yeah, I did that, yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of like strutting back, but you're kind of like, it was like a 3 hour, for 3 hours you were climbing through that. So,
wow, that's intense.
I want to go home.
I feel like halfway through, I'd be like, maybe I can just climb up.
Yeah. We were like, what if we see like a mountain lion on the top? Because our friends told us in New Mexico, like, if you see a mountain lion, you're dead because it means it's stalking you.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh my god, like, what if it is up there?
We just didn't look up.
Yeah.
Imagine a mountain lion just parachuting down onto your head. Oh,
just death.
And it's like, I love Diet Cig too.
Yeah.
But we finally made it back to civilization when we got to San Francisco this past weekend, and I got to see Taylor Swift like arms reach away.
I didn't.
Jesse from Father Daughter took me, and it was life-changing. And that was this weekend, so now we're here.
And Noah just wasn't invited. He just was like...
No, I wasn't. I went to a bar. I had some fish tacos.
Fish tacos.
It was life-changing. It was life-changing.
You know what? I love fish tacos more than I love Taylor Swift. So.
I've still never eaten them.
Right.
Ever.
What?
Yeah, you don't know what fish tacos taste like.
I don't know.
But you don't know what it's like to be arm's reach from Taylor Swift, so...
It's true.
I feel like I do. I heard
Jesse
about it.
Jesse and I were so close that we could see that Taylor didn't shave her legs that day.
Whoa.
Like, that's how close. I was like, girlfriend, me neither.
You were like, check out these legs, we match. And Noah's like, I've already heard this story like 12 times.
Yes.
Yeah, I have all the pictures. I got all the, whatever.
Yeah, you got the info.
I got the info.
You lived through her, so that way you got to experience both fish tacos and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See?
That was cool. I can't complain.
Who really won?
Well, after this long trip now and all this vacationing, you're about to go on a tour, pretty much back the way you came, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. We made a bunch of friends in all the cities, and we were like, yo, if you let us sleep at your house, we'll put you on the guest list. I don't know.
Maybe.
No,
if we get one.
We're super excited for the tour,
Yeah.
and it'll be really nice to like get back to playing shows. We've been kind of in this like vacation limbo for the past couple months, 2 months. So we're so stoked to start our shows.
Yeah.
Take a shred again.
I was in like a vacation limbo. I was backpacking around Europe for a bit, and then I got back and I was like, everything is so different. So many things have happened. I don't know anything. Like, so I've been trying to like catch up on my life, so I know kind of what that's like.
Right? Oh my God, you're like, wait, I don't want to vote for Hillary anymore. Now Bernie's the cool guy. I knew Hillary wasn't the cool lady, but I didn't find out until after the desert that Bernie was the cool guy.
See, you emerged from the desert and you were like,
Just like,
the
Bernie
world.
Sanders.
Yeah.
No. I donate $5. Now he keeps emailing me. I'm like, leave me alone.
Yeah, you're like, burn, dude, chill.
That's weird.
I got enough emails in the inbox.
Yeah, totally. Got the one from earlier today.
So I guess we can also talk a little bit about this music. I was a big fan of your first EP, Over Easy, which while I was looking up for this interview, I saw on Bandcamp, it says it was recorded on Halloween. Is that true?
Yeah, it was.
Yes, we did. That was the one day no one was working.
Yeah.
So we did it on Halloween.
And I was really bummed out because I had a really good Halloween costume and I wanted to go trick-or-treating and to a party. But we did this instead, and we didn't think anything was going to come out of it. So at first I was kind of like, man, like, I want to trick-or-treat. But it ended up being worth it.
You're like, I don't really want to be a rock star. I want to just wear my costume. I work so...
I know, I was going to be Max and Where the Wild Things Are.
That is pretty badass.
Yeah.
But I ended up being Max at a show like a couple days later, so it was okay.
Yeah. So I was going to ask, New Paltz, I'm from New Jersey, so I kind of know where that is. But I figured that you must go to school there, right? Or so.
Yeah, I did.
So what's the music scene like up there? Is it pretty cool? Is it a chill spot?
It's pretty chill. It's super fun because it is a college town, so you always get new people coming through, which is awesome. And there's just so many people trying so hard to like always be able to have shows, and everyone in the scene is like very dedicated to the scene, which is like really refreshing. Yeah. But it's really nice, and it's convenient because where we recorded on Halloween is right in the heart of New Paltz. So Chris Daly at Salvation, recording where we did ours, is kind of like the heart of the scene, or like part of the scene, which is cool. It was cool to be involved with it.
Paltz, that's pretty cool if they're right in the scene, because then it's sort of like such a genuine new Paltzian sound. Is that a real thing? I don't know.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I saw, Noah, that you were formerly in a band, or maybe you're still in the band, Earl Boykins, right?
Yeah, we're kind of on a break since Diet Cig's kind of on the other side of the country right now.
Yeah, so, I feel that. But I was going to say, Earl Boykins was one of my favorite basketball players growing up, so I was like, who is this band, Earl Boykins? And through Earl Boykins, I found Diet Cig. I was like, what? What is this? I guess that's kind of like the reverse of the way people normally find it now, because Diet Cig's like pretty cool. You're in blogs and stuff.
Yeah, no, Earl Boykins isn't as hot.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But when you play with Earl Boykins, do you think it's like kind of a different sound or a different drumming style than when you play with Diet Cig, or do you just kind of like let it rip?
Well, the funny thing is that on the records I play drums, but on live I play guitar. Actually, I'm a guitar player live.
Really?
Yeah. So I played on all those Earl Boykins records, but I play guitar live.
We play drums for us, though.
But I play drums for Diet Cig.
Oh, okay. That's why I was so confused.
I'm a drummer originally, but Earl Boykins was like my let me try this guitar thing. So.
Yeah, but that's another thing that you now have in your arsenal.
Oh yeah. There you go.
He's basically a Swiss Army knife. Practical.
That you carry around with you.
This is just my pocket Swiss Army knife with a beard.
With a beard. You need the beard though. I don't have a beard. See, I'm not useful.
Yeah, it just keeps coming back. So you just gotta leave it out.
I keep cutting it off, and it keeps coming back.
He's coming back. I don't know what it is.
But one thing that I really like to talk to different bands about is what are some bands that you guys enjoy that you're into?
We love
Power Bottom.
Power Bottom.
It's one of our favorites, and we're on the same label. And
we just went on tour with them, and it was the funnest tour ever.
Yeah.
It was like a week and a half of pure bliss.
Yeah.
And they fucking shred, and they are another like two-piece that like I feel like they catch people off guard because people are like, oh, two-piece, and same with us, and then like we just like shred their face off. So they're awesome.
Yeah.
We love Quarterbacks. They're from New Paltz. Dean and Tom and Max are like some of the best people we've ever met. They're awesome. We were in Nashville just casually going through for one night earlier on this trip, and we were looking through this like culture magazine, like, oh, what's going on in Nashville tonight? And we saw like Quarterbacks was playing, and we were like, we had no idea they were like even near Nashville. And we were like, they're from our town. And so like the bartender was like, what? And we're like, we know these guys. He didn't care at all, but it was really cool to see them in Nashville.
I heard a story, I think you posted this once, that you were working in like a bakery, right? And somebody came in and was like, wait, you're in a band. Why do you have a job working here?
Oh my god, yeah. They were like some like little bro dudes. And they were like, oh my god, you're in that band Diet Cig. Wait, why do you have to work here? I was like, are you joking, dude? Like, are you serious right now? I didn't even know what to say. I wanted to be like, I just had no words. Like,
I like to work at a bakery. You should have been like, I like it here.
And flour.
Yeah, because I feel like that was cracking me up so hard because like there's no money right now in music, really, not that much, enough to live, you know. So it's like every band has these jobs, but people kind of like look up to them like, oh wow, they're so cool, you know.
Yeah, actually, we were in Philly this year. And we went into a cafe casually, and Sam from Radiator Hospital was working behind the counter, and I was trying to keep my cool so much because they're like one of my favorite bands, and like I've never gotten to meet Sam, and I just like I know him from the internet, maybe even, but like I was like, oh my god, that's him, and I just like could not keep my cool, and I guess I kind of understand where those like frat boys were coming from, but a little, not really.
Because to them, you are like Radiator Hospital.
I hope so. Oh my god, if frat boys like worship me like I worship Radiator Hospital, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Pretty cool, but also maybe unsafe.
Maybe unsafe. We have a weird fan base though that has a lot of like frat boys and military bros really like us. Like
they come out. It's cool.
Yeah, we played a show in DC once, and this dude kept messaging me like, "Where's your dress? Where's your dress?" And I told him to the house show. And he arrives with like a 30 rack in hand, just like, yo, we ready to go with his bros. Like, they literally have like military t-shirts and shit on. They're like, you want a beer? Yeah. And we were like, yeah. And we were like, they can't be here for us. And they were like singing every word downstairs when we were playing. We were like, this is so weird. Like, why? What?
You have kind of like a cool vibe in your music because it has sort of a poppy, like upbeat sound, but the lyrics are pretty like intense, like, or sometimes angry, sometimes like, I don't know, pointed, you know?
That's you got it right there. No, yeah, I don't know. People are a lot of time asked like, where do the lyrics come from and stuff, and it's like, I don't know, it's like word vomit. It's like, it's just, it's my lifestyle. Isn't that a rap song?
Probably. I don't know.
No, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that happens, but it's fun because when we play live, we can really like rock out, and I feel like some like angsty badass.
Yeah, no, for real. When I watch live videos of you two, it's like you guys like really let it rip. You know, it's not like you're trying to put on like some super clean like performance. Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice to see that you still have like that rock and roll vibe.
Yeah, man, it's cathartic.
Well, you know, you're up there for 30 minutes or so. You gotta You know,
Yeah.
I don't just sit there.
Yeah.
You know, or
You don't want this to become just as boring as another job, you know? It's the whole
Yeah.
Yeah,
point.
exactly. It's like, come on, like my bakery job is, of course. Not. Just kidding. I love the bakery. Free cookies all day.
See. So back to the music a little bit. You have another split coming out. I think it's called Sleep Talk Dinner Date, and one song of that is already out, and the next song is coming soon. So what can we expect for this other track? Is it kind of similar to the one that's already out? Is it similar to your old stuff? What's the vibe?
It actually comes out tomorrow, I think. And,
yeah, tomorrow.
And it's more rockin'. This is like a rock song.
Yeah.
This is like my
it's just straight all day.
Yeah, it's really fun, and it's definitely the one we play live where we're like, we're gonna rock out now. But I don't know, it's a good one. It's shorter than Sleep Talk, and Sleep Talk and Dinner Date are both like kind of weird structurally, I think, which is why we threw them on this 7-inch, because we were like, they just get to be weird in their own glory on this thing. But we're really stoked on it. My little sister is actually the cover of the Sleep Talk side, and my brother is the cover of the Dinner Date side. So they're in like middle school and elementary school, so like they think it's so cool. They're like, I'm on iTunes, and they can tell their friends like, look, my face is on iTunes. So they think it's really cool.
I saw that it's coming out in the UK as well, so that's even like super special, you know.
Yeah, totally. It's overseas.
Yeah, have you ever gone to play over in Europe, or would you ever want to do that? It's not something you'd be interested in?
We haven't yet, but we're talking about it. You know, you gotta play in the U.S. First, right? I guess I don't know. But we're gonna do it. We're talking about it, so hopefully soon.
Yeah, we have never been there. I've never even been there in general. Like, I literally just got my passport like this month. So I'm super stoked for that to be a possibility, because it's just like a cool excuse to travel.
Exactly.
It's really, like right now is how I feel too. Like, I got to go to all these places on this trip, and it's like, oh, it's cool. I can go be in a band.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's like half the reason everyone's in music, because there's no money in it. So it's like, I get to travel and do what I want to do. So
exactly.
What it is.
Yeah, exactly. And when I was over there, I like tried to see as many bands as I could, and I caught Sundials. I don't know if you know Sundials. I saw them in Germany, and they were just like, yeah, we're just trying to like travel Europe. Like, we didn't even really plan on this, but whatever. So that would be really cool if you could get over there. I feel like the Europeans would really dig it.
I hope so. I think so. We get I actually have like this obsession with postcards on this trip. Like, I've never had an excuse to send anyone a postcard before ever. And so now I've like been hoarding them and like sending them to everyone. And I sent out on Twitter like, oh, like, give me your address, I'll send you a postcard. And like half the people who DM'd me are from the UK, and I was like, I don't think I can send a postcard over there. I was like, that can't be, like...
It's like a $10 postcard.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? I'm like, I'll have to send them, like, a digital one or something.
Yeah. Take a picture of the postcard and then just, like, message it to them.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, a few more just interesting questions that I've just been wondering about is what are some things that you are into outside of music? Do you have any, like, hobbies or...
I'm a huge basketball nerd, player kind of guy, so I usually do that. I'm like, it's hard because like when you're in a band, there's not a lot of other bands that like sports that you find out. Like, everyone's like, I don't play sports, that's why I play music. But I'm like, yo, I play sports and I play music. It's cool. Let's play some ball. And it's every time you try to do it, it's always just not.
Dude, you know? I would love to ball out with you. Basketball, I love playing, man.
Always down the ball, but no one else is ever down the ball.
The band Romp that I just interviewed right before you guys, they're all about playing basketball. So
we've been talking to them about going on tour. They are so awesome. Okay. Maybe that could be the basketball tour.
Yeah. I'll meet you guys up. We'll play some 2-on-2s.
Yeah,
sweet. Yeah.
I'm totally down.
So what about you, Alex? What are some of the things that you're into? Are you just basketballing it up too?
I like to embroider stuff.
Crafts.
I like crafts a lot. I embroider patches, a lot less baller than basketball. But I did make Noah a Ball Forever patch beanie for Christmas that he never wears.
I don't know where it is. Okay,
But I know it's summer, but even in the winter it didn't work. Yeah, I like crafts and I like hanging out with my little kids, like my brother and sister. My brother's 9 and my sister's 11. I don't know what I like to do. I like to watch Shark Tank.
Oh man, I love Shark Tank. Who is your favorite shark?
The guy, well, obviously the ladies.
Well, I have to like Mark Cuban, but I hate him. But
I like him.
He's
I like
all right.
him.
I don't know.
He gives people real deals. Like the old dudes are kind of douchey. They kind of like
trying to make money.
Yeah. But Mark Cuban's cool. The ladies are like the QVC lady. I don't remember her name.
I forget her name too, but she's like always like, I can get you on QVC.
Yeah, and everyone's like, that's not what I expected out of the show, but yeah.
Everyone's like, I don't know, QVC must make money. It's been on TV forever.
Forever. Yeah. I would love to be a feature on QVC. Can we get our merch on QVC?
Let's go on Shark Tank. We'll play a show, and then we'll be like, we're selling these.
Can you invest in our band?
What if that was a thing? Yeah, people people do like the exercise videos. Like that's pretty fucking lame. Like
you can do it. But you were talking about embroidering. Did you do the Over Easy cover? Was that one of your?
I actually didn't, which is funny. That is one of the things that inspired me to embroider. Our friend Sam, who is Chris, who did our record's wife. She's a goddess. She's like the ultimate. She sewed it. She embroidered it, and she did such an amazing job. And I was like, that looks so good. I want to make more embroidered things for our band. So I started making little patches, like kind of like Girl Scout patches. Mm-hmm. They look like I would embroider them. And then we told Julie Bowman, his mom, about these patches. And she started sending them to us on this trip. Like I showed her how I made them. And she's like, okay, I got it. And like is sending us packages and packages of these patches. And we're like, oh my God, are we ever going to sell these? And I think we are.
Yeah.
She's like a machine.
Easily made over like 50 patches.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. So.
You know what that reminds me of? Like, you know that like old Huckleberry Finn thing where he's like painting the fence and he's like, you know, painting this fence is so much fun. And then like everyone comes up and is like, I'll paint it for you. I'll do it. That's like,
right?
You're
exactly.
just like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. You got it, dude.
You want to make patches for me? Go for it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome though.
She does a really good job, so it's cool. Yeah. So on tour, look out, world, we got mad mom patches.
Yeah. Mom patches, and we got Alex patches, we got mom patches, we got record label patches.
I made 3.
We got a couple Noah patches.
You know, you could tell I made them, but they look good. Hey, I like them.
I'm pretty impressed that you made any, man. I can't do shit. My girlfriend's like trying to like crochet and stuff. I'm just like, whoa, that's kind of complex.
Yeah. It's I don't know. We finally you figure out the formula and you kind of do it. The first one was rough. The second one was like, third one I felt good, but it's still kind of.
It's framed over your bed. You're just like,
it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I guess just one more question, which is, what would be your dream band to play with, or any sort of artist? Would it be Taylor Swift?
Yeah, I actually felt that when I was watching her play to 50,000 people, and I was like, when her openers were on, is like this guy Shawn Mendes and then Vance Joy, and Shawn Mendes was literally just some little fuckboy with an acoustic guitar who got to play his little acoustic songs to a stadium. Half of them were covers, and I was like, I could do this. Like, why is this guy playing a stadium right now? So definitely Taylor Swift. What do you think?
I don't.
Hop Along. I would love to play Hop Along. I love them. I would just cry tears of joy. So,
they're so good. Hop Along. That might be my favorite record of the year. I don't know. It's just so good.
So
when it came out, we listened to it like nonstop.
Yeah.
It's so good, and her other record's so good. She's just like a fucking superstar.
That's all the questions I have for you. So you guys can go enjoy Portland and have a great trip. And I need to come see you guys live. You guys sound like you'll be so much fun to see. So I'll have to sneak out to a show somewhere when you're on the East Coast once again.
Totally.
All right.
Oh,
So
gosh. Thanks for doing this. This is so
problem.
fun.
Yeah. The internet, man, it's magic. So thanks. And I'll come see you sometime and we'll chat and play basketball and knit things.
Good.
All right.
Totally.
See ya. Enjoy your trip.
Bye. Thanks.